Hello, Becca.
Hello.
I feel like I have a nut stuck in my throat. So just disregard any coughing that I may be doing. I don't know when this. Okay, I somewhat see. There it is. Sorry. Okay, I somewhat know when this episode is going to be coming out, and it's not when we're recording it, FYI. But r right now, well, right now, like 2 days ago, it was announced that Death Becomes Her is closing in June. So really, there's like no reason to go to New York anymore.
Hannah's talked herself out of the whole trip.
Literally, I have. So I was like, oh, I could still go see Death Becomes Her and Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York. Well, Death Becomes Her is closing, and Two Strangers just got Tony nominated for stuff, so now it's gonna be busy and the prices go up. So as much as I still love to see that show, the other thing is, and I know I've talked to you relentlessly about this and everybody else, I don't believe I've mentioned it on the pod, is I kind of talked myself into going to Scotland and Ireland next year. So I'm like, why don't I just take that money that I would be spending to go to New York and put it towards Scotland, Ireland? And that's where we're sitting right now. So,
It's a smarter choice.
because like I said before, if I did New York, it would literally be a 1 day thing. So that's gonna be like $600 to $800 day. Whereas I could take that and do something in Ireland.
What are you gonna
So,
do there? If you
in
just want to see all the castles?
yeah, I'm gonna
Hmm.
go drink a Guinness in a pub. Just kidding. There's a
Just
lot of like
kidding.
Harry Potter filming locations in Scotland and I think mostly in Scotland. So like that would be cool to go see. I have to do more research. I'm gonna go learn how to play the bagpipes.
You only need one song.
What song?
The bagpipe song. It's in
What's
every
that?
game.
I don't know that song.
It, you know it. I
How
can't
does
make
it
it.
go?
I can't even do it. You're wanting me to do it, and I was thought about it for half a second. I can't even do it.
Okay. Anyway, also relative, this is not when this is coming out, but I just listened to our top five movie edition episode that came out, and honestly, we filmed that so long ago, and it kept getting pushed back and pushed back for whatever reasons. I had so much fun listening to that episode. I think we should, and there were so many things I said that I was like, oh, this would be totally different today. I think we should periodically do our top fives, like maybe like once a year and see how much
Top
they
five
change.
movies.
No, just, well, that doesn't have to be the same categories every time, but like
What were my
periodically
top fives in the episode you just listened to?
for your movies.
Yeah,
Um, well, it was Spider-Verse 1 and 2.
yeah.
And then it was an anime that I'd never seen. And then it was like three movies I didn't know.
Yeah, two plus three would equal five. Yeah.
Well, so I know one was like an anime. One I
Are
think was one
animated
Gattaca,
movie or an anime movie?
an anime movie.
Okay, we should redo this then.
And one might have been Gattaca,
It's a good movie.
and the last one was another one that I'd never even heard of.
Yeah, let's redo it.
You had a lot of ones that you were like, you've never heard this and you've never seen this. Oh, one was Lego Batman, I think.
Of my top five,
I think so.
it's a good movie. It's a great one. That is. There are very few movies that I can watch over and over and over and over and over without
Hmm.
movies in between, and that's one of them.
There was we also did like top five TV shows, and I was listening and going like there's Becca has been watching like so many things. She's like, I watched this for the first time, I watched this for the first time. So like I think your all of your lists would just be completely different.
that this is perfect for us to redo it after
Yeah.
maybe a year or something,
Yeah,
when
I'll have to like write down what it was in that
tripled the
episode.
amount of media I've consumed.
Yeah.
Your New Year's resolution this year and last year was consume more media, and I think I've got you beat.
Mm. Well, consume more media or consume more new media?
I've
Does
consumed more new media than you, but have I consumed
does
more total media?
does audio count?
Because you listen to podcasts and you watch movies while you puzzle, but you've seen all those movies.
Yeah. But also I listen to music and or podcasts the entire time I'm at work. So,
So I think
anyway,
if we're counting podcasts, you got me beat for
yeah,
total media. I don't listen to any. I don't even listen to this podcast. I used to turn it on and like leave it playing. I don't even do that anymore.
ridiculous. Speaking of our top whatevers, top songs, Spotify had a birthday, so
Is
we
that
got
what
to,
it was for? I just it was like, oh, your top songs, your first listen, your things
yeah, I
like that.
think
And I was
it's
like, oh, they're
Spotify.
they're getting ahead of the rap this year.
No, I
Everyone's
think
everyone's copied them, so they're doing their
Spotify
own
like
thing.
turned 20 or something. Um, so I was like, oh, let me look at my all-time top songs. Wasn't really surprised. However, it did show you your first ever listened to song, and I don't even know that song. I was like, why would this be my first listened to song? I
When
know
did you make your Spotify account?
it was 2 years ago, I think. So,
Oh,
but so it's by Steven Sanchez, who I know, and I know some of his songs, but this particular song, I do not know. So I was like, why? But anyway, I was, I'm not like shocked by anything in this list. It's very similar to my Wrapped, but I was like so can you? I don't think you can guess my very number one song. It has 109 listens,
109 listens. It is a.
and it has not been my top song on any of the Wrapped.
I believe that. I think it is a song that you sing in your car.
That
So I
could be any song.
No, listen, but like there's a certain kind. This is large.
Okay,
It's either largely musical or pop. There's a small
okay.
amount of non-musical music that also fits this category, but it's definitely one of those. Because you think I'm not gonna guess it, I don't think it's one of those big musical songs or songs that you're recently listening to. And for that reason, can't think of one that would be your top. Like your top. I don't know. 109 is not. I have mine pulled up here. 109 is like halfway through. I guess I've had Spotify for way longer than you have. This
Yeah,
account.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my number one top song was Requiem.
Really.
Yeah. So like
I
it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm shocked, but I'm like, okay,
What's
okay.
interesting, especially with like the songs where it's like, oh, your top songs of the year, or the songs that you have like a rewind and like things like that show up, and I'm like, none of these are my favorite song. None of them are my favorite
Mm,
song. But they're songs that you listen to over and over, like any time. They get mixed in with any other songs that you're listening to that end up
yeah,
being the ones that you listen to the most.
yeah.
So it's interesting.
Hmm. Okay,
My,
well, oh,
do you want to know
sorry.
mine?
Sure, yeah.
This is the second or third Spotify account I've had. So I've only had this, but I've had this at least before COVID because my first stream song is from Percy Jackson the musical,
Really?
which surprises me. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Okay.
first stream song. My top song. It surprises me personally, but I feel like it's not surprising because it's been my top song in the past years. Is "Teenagers," and just there's a lot of songs that are similar to that. I feel like this list is incredibly similar to my 2023 Wrapped. So
Were you there when our cousin Paisley was talking about the
I'm
Percy Jackson
never.
musical?
Yes, I was there. I was gonna say I never listened to Paisley, but I was there for this.
It was so funny.
She was like, "It's
She
the weirdest thing I ever. I don't even know what happens in it." I was
like
like,
she's she does theater and she's like in all these plays and
"Yeah."
she's like so I think what our dad asked him or somebody was like, "Oh, what play are you doing now?" And she's like, "Oh, Percy Jackson." And she's like, "It's so weird. I've never even heard of this thing." And like then her mom chimes in with like the same stuff and she's like, "Yeah, it's just like I don't even know what's going on." I'm like, "Do you don't know of Percy Jackson or the musical?" Like I don't what okay. I just
She
thought
was
that whole conversation
she
was
was
funny.
also like, "Oh, who are you in it?" And she's like, "I don't even know." And I'm like, "There's
Yeah.
three girls in the whole show. You're one of the three girls."
Yeah.
It was like, "Are you? Do you sing songs? Yes or no?" That narrows it down very quickly. Like,
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. We got our today is our prep episode for Spider-Man Brand New Day. So I have watched all of Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies, and Becca, can you
I
guess what
love
Becca did?
Spider Man. Let me just preface this. I love Spider Man, the character. I love Spider Man movies. All around, I enjoy. The Tom Holland Spider Man movies are good movies. However, I watch them the least. I've actually have only seen. Okay, so it took me. I did not actually end up watching these in preparation for this. I have seen them all. I've seen the very first one and a half times. I watched a half this time. I've seen the second one two whole times, and I've seen the third one two whole times. All of those were when they came out, minus the one half. And I watched recap videos, so I remember when I was watching the recap video for the very first one, I was like, shoot, I remember this being a great movie. But when I was watching, like, I got halfway through and I was like, I don't want to watch this. So, yeah.
And I gave you like 3 whole weeks to do this.
I had a lot of time. You know what I watched instead?
Oh my
Bunch of
gosh.
different movies.
Yeah, I know. It's not like you were like pressed for time or anything.
Nah.
I rewatched all of anything that had Tom Holland Spider-Man. So like I started with Civil War and then did his movies and then Infinity War and Endgame and then No Way Home. And overall, I'd say that they were all better than I remember them being, except well, so like his like the first so we'll say Homecoming and Far From Home. I remember Homecoming being like good. I remember Far From Home not being that good. But then rewatching it, I was like, this is honestly like one of the better ones.
They're
And
good
then
movies.
uh No Way Home, in my mind, I was like, this is one of the greatest MCU movies I've ever seen because it had like I was like, the three Spider-Man, everything's going on. But rewatching it, I'm like, a lot of these jokes like are kind of cringy.
Yeah.
Like
It was good for is that considered phase 4?
I don't even know.
It was good
I,
for the phase it was in. Like
yeah,
nothing came out around it. Everyone was like, oh, Spider-Man. Everything
yeah.
else though.
So I was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. But like overall, I'm looking at like all my scores for it. I still overall gave it an 8, but like could have been higher than that if they like didn't have some of those weird jokes or like they had some like dialogue moments between the three Spider-Men that like in my memory watching it the first time I was like this is so silly of them, but rewatching it I'm like I don't know if we need this. Like
They just needed a moment.
yeah. So I think all of the purely Spider-Man movies I have rated an 8. Um, but like he's in Endgame and Infinity War, which are higher. So, like the purely Tom Holland Spider-Mans, I have all at eights. So, like, still very good movies, but I remember them differently for better and for worse. Anyway, Becca, I would like you to tell us where Spider-Man is today and how he got there. Give us a very combined and condensed
Okay,
Tom Holland Spider-Man
here are
recap.
the key moments. Uh, Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man because Tony Stark. Well, he's Spider-Man, but he's associated with Tony Stark. In Endgame, Tony Stark is no longer. Spider-Man's by himself. He's on his own. That's whatever. But he's still with Happy, who is associated with Stark and whatever. In No Way Home, uh, or no, in Far From Home, his identity is revealed. Oh no, everyone knows he's Spider Man. He got this legal drama and his life is ruined. In No Way Home, he goes, Mr. Strange, Doctor Strange, can you fix this for me? Fails a little bit, fixes it finally by everybody in the whole world forgets that he is Spider Man. Or forgets about Peter Parker, really. That's it. That's how clear and concise was that. Now he's by himself. He in the trailers. He's is it at the end of No Way Home or is it in the trailers of this one? He's like getting his GED or whatever. He's just like being Spider Man, but Peter Parker be lonesome.
It's the end. There's bits of that in
Yeah,
the end of No Way Home.
because he goes in and he was gonna tell his friends that he was Spider Man. He went and saw them and then was like, nah, I'll
Hmm.
wait. And then trailers was like him talking with them, but he ain't revealed himself yet.
Okay, so let's hear about the trailer from Becca's mind.
I've only seen the trailer once,
Mm.
and I will mix it up with the end of the last movie. Here's the trailer. There's bits of Peter and MJ, and there's bits of Ned, and there's bits of Spider-Man. There's
Okay.
also is this the one with the magic lady, or no? That's a different. Nah, yeah, that's the
The
trailer.
Magic Lady.
There's like a lady. He's lets him out of the. I'm definitely thinking of someone else. I'm thinking of a trailer where there's an old lady in like a container.
That's the trailer.
Yes, I remember there being several potential bad guys, and I was like, definitely this old lady is gonna be one of them. She's got
Yes.
powers she can't control. There's another bad guy. There's another is a dude. Mm, yeah, there you go.
Okay. So here's what I know, or what I know has been said. Because so they had CinemaCon a bit ago. We did not attend, but I be listening and I be researching and I be hearing things about Spider-Man through the CinemaCon channels. I think it's CinemaCon. Anyway, I believe they showed a clip from the movie, like not trailer, just like a straight up clip. And also then like other things. So, here's the rundown. From the trailer, we see Hulk as Bruce Banner, and Bruce Banner is in the trailer. The Lego set has been revealed, announced something that is Spider-Man versus Hulk. So, are we getting Hulk in this movie? Possibly. Why would they just make that Lego set if he wasn't?
For
Anyway,
publicity,
okay.
I I wouldn't put it past them.
Hmm. There is also the character Tarantula in Lego sets. I'm not super versed on Tarantula. This, okay, also before I keep going, this movie and a lot of things being said about this movie are heavily tied to the comics. So I might need to do some research and read up on the comics.
You're gonna read
Because
a book?
that's not what I said. I said read up on it. Because I'm not super comic knowledgeable. But um anyway. So the so the clip that was played at CinemaCon, here's basically what happens. Peter on the phone with somebody, and then he's like, gotta go. Gets off the phone. And because he sees Ned walking, he follows Ned to the party that's in the trailer. And then I believe it's in Ned's. Do Ned and MJ share an apartment? Or are they like just neighbors?
They're probably just neighbors.
Anyway, you see Ned has like the red string with pictures of Spider-Man. Uh and he's trying to find out who Spider-Man is. And Peter Parker's like, "You trying to find out who Spider-Man is?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I just," because he knows that Spider-Man saved him. So he's like, "I just want to find him and like thank him." But he like kind of has weird vibes. Okay? And then like we see in the trailer, Zendaya, she be kissing another guy. So it was that party scene that we do see a lot of in the trailer, but then there was some other things. So, from this little clip, again, I have not seen this, it's just been retold to me. Ned, weird vibes. Hobgoblin? Question mark. Another potential bad guy? Question mark. Um, because why are he doing all that red string just to say thank you to Spider-Man? Seems a little suspicious. No?
I'm like 40% sure Ned is a bad guy in some of the comics.
Yeah, the Hobgoblin is
Yeah.
Ned becomes a Hobgoblin. So that's question mark. Other thing to note in the beginning, he's on the phone talking to somebody. Who is he talking to? He doesn't know anybody.
Well, is here's a question. As Spider-Man is teamed up with Happy. Is that still a thing? But he knows
Okay,
he's Peter Parker, so I'm not sure.
this is another thing I think we talked about when the trailer first came out. We're like, the spell takes away anybody who knows who Peter Parker is. But like Ned and MJ and everybody else know they have interacted with Spider-Man. So, like, does MJ still think she's in love with Spider-Man? Or does she just know that like Ned knows, oh, he saved me and like we've been in the same situations with each other. But then like you have to think, why was I hanging out with Spider-Man?
Why is she friends with Ned if
Exact
not
I don't
with
yeah,
without
like
Peter?
I don't know. And then also I think a thing I noted in the first trailer when we talked about it was uh Bruce Banner. It seems as if he's asking questions about Spider-Man to Bruce Banner, but then he's not a dummy. He'd be like, "Well, are you Spider-Man?" And now that we have this Lego set reveal that like it's Spider-Man versus Hulk, makes me think that like he doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Otherwise, why would he be fighting him? I don't know.
Well, question in the end of Far From Home, Mysterio is frames Spider-Man, right? He frames Spider-Man and then reveals he's Peter Parker, and then he gets in a lot of trouble. Is Spider-Man still in trouble? Peter Parker is now not in trouble, but is Spider-Man still in trouble? That could be a reason why Hulk would fight him.
Well, you're saying from Far From Home?
Yeah, yes.
Well, all that was like, um, well, where is Hulk after Endgame?
I don't know.
Well, because Spider-Man, well, actually, Far From Home was after Endgame, so that doesn't matter. Wait, say your question again?
It, when Mysterio dies, he
Mm-hmm.
sends out the video to his buddy,
Mm-hmm.
broadcasts that he kind of changes the video and makes it look like Spider-Man did all the drones, right? And then killed a bunch of people. And so they're
Mm-hmm.
like, shoot, both Spider-Man and Peter Parker are now under arrest for murder, that type thing.
Yeah.
They
But
forget that he's Spider-Man, but do they forget, or they forget about Peter Parker, but is now Spider-Man calling into question?
I mean, maybe. I do think as far as like the Avengers go, that wouldn't be as a problem because um Nick Fury was there to be like, you Spider-Man's cool, you know?
Mm.
So there's questions about that. Also, I believe it has been confirmed that Tombstone um was in the tank that you talked about with the lady in the tank. Again, not super familiar with Tombstone. Okay. So there's that.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Also, I believe this was not talked about in like any of the things that I've heard from it, but I've been watching Daredevil because I'm convinced Daredevil is in related to this movie because when I first saw the trailer, it had those like ninja guys and everyone was like, is that the hand? Is that the hand from Daredevil? So I've been watching Daredevil. However, sorry guys, I'm not a lot of help because I have not even gotten to Born Again yet. But do you want me to spoil it for you?
Go right ahead.
I know at the end of Born Again, Daredevil is in prison.
Hmm.
So,
Is it Are those timelines matched up though? That the end of Born Again is now ish.
yes, because, okay, here's the other thing. Punisher, who is also in Daredevil, is in the trailer. He's Frank, who is driving the car, and Spider-Man's like, go home, Frank. That's
Hmm.
the Punisher, and he's in Daredevil. So, we also just had the Punisher series that came out as of recording this that I have not seen. I heard that was like extremely mid though. So,
Won't be watching.
yeah. Um, so yeah. I should have finished Daredevil before we had this episode, so we're both at
Look
fault here
who's
a little
not
bit.
doing the homework now.
I had I had so much more homework than you. I had
Yeah,
plus the homework I gave you. Ridiculous. Doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna listen to this. I'm gonna listen
that's
to
what
this
exactly.
when it comes out right before the movie, and by then we'll probably know more stuff. So, who cares? Really? I just want you to know that I know from other people who went to CinemaCon that stuff is happening. Sadie Sink's character, we still don't know who that is.
I forgot she was in this movie.
She's in this movie. Do we think okay, well let's make some predictions as of today for Brand New Day. I do think Daredevil is going to be involved in some way or another. I think that Zendaya will know Peter Parker is Spider-Man by the end of the movie. Um, and I think there will be at least three bad guys in this movie.
That's for sure.
Other than that though, what are your predictions?
I agree with the three bad guys.
Hmm,
I think I don't know. I don't have high hopes for this movie.
really? Okay.
Yeah, don't. What
I
can I say?
I think that it bodes well that they are drawing I so heavily from comics to show that like they care about what they're doing. However, that can get tricky when they're trying to do too much. So, double-edged sword, kind of. I've seen pictures come out that's like, oh, he's wearing exact outfits from comics. We have these comic characters that we haven't seen yet on the screen, like Tombstone and Tarantula. If
You
that's
see that
wrong,
as
I
like
haven't seen them.
oh, they're taking extra care and they're having all this detail, which I'm sure is true, but also in my mind, I'm like, oh, they've run out of non like they're just gonna do exactly what the comics do. so
Is
that
that
it's like
bad though?
no, but it just to me is like maybe they don't know what they want,
Okay,
you know?
sure. The picture that I think I saw this yesterday was Tom Holland was wearing an outfit. They're like, oh, this is an exact outfit from this comic, but he looked like he was in a school. So I was like, what is that about?
College.
Maybe college. So there's a lot. I am less skeptical about this movie than I am Doomsday though.
I'll agree with that.
Oh, there's also stuff about
When
Doomsday
when
in
is this one supposed to come out?
uh July.
Hmm.
July 31st.
Okay.
I have also written down stuff about Doomsday that was shown at CinemaCon, but I can save that.
There'll be more stuff later.
Okay, you want to hear it?
Yeah. Tell me what's up.
First and foremost, we will be having Dune's Day officially because they are not moving their date, and neither is Dune.
Aren't they
Okay?
doing those the Disney theater whatever thing?
Yeah, so the big controversy was Dune is IMAX.
Yeah.
So they started selling and they have like all the IMAX theaters reserved for Dune. So now Doomsday couldn't do any IMAX theaters because Dune had them all.
Yeah.
So they like came out with this thing, I forgot what they called it, that it's basically IMAX. But
Disney Vision.
they called it something
Spider
else.
Vision.
So anyway, that's that. But they're not moving their date.
Baymax.
So that will be interesting to see the outcomes. I honestly don't think it will matter that much. If anything, I think people will go see both the movies even more like Barbenheimer. So,
I
whatever.
think though I don't think it will be like that because they're both very long movies. I'm
Yeah.
assuming Doomsday is gonna be quite a long movie, and I feel like Barbenheimer had it. It is, I guess, funny is not the word I'm looking for, but I'm like it's different to if you're when you're going to go see two starkly different movies than when you're gonna go see two action epics. I don't think as many people you think will go and see both movies the day of.
Oh, I don't think day of. I'm just saying they'll make it a weekend thing, but
Yeah,
whatever. Okay, and then the other thing is um the trailers we have seen for Doomsday have been altered. That doesn't surprise me one bit. There always be lying in these trailers. Also, I think it was Kevin Feige who said that Doomsday picks up right after Endgame. So what?
how does that work?
That's what
Who
everybody
does
said. We're
it?
like,
Who does it follow until? Wait, I don't understand.
I don't either. So I gotta see. I'm excited to see how that works out.
Maybe we'll figure out where Hulk was.
hmm He also said that Doctor Doom is a new character, not a variant. So why cast Robert Downey
Separated
Jr.?
twins.
Why cast Robert Downey Jr. if it has nothing to do with his Iron Man?
They
I don't get that either.
expire one contract, get a new contract. Oh, we ran out of the people. The people like bring them back.
And
Oh,
if
but
they
we don't want to bring
never,
him back to life. We'll just bring you back the actor.
yeah. And if they're like, oh, it's new character, not variant, because they are never gonna show his face, that's gonna piss me off even more.
Why?
Because why are we casting Robert Downey Jr. if we're A, not gonna show his face, and then B, not gonna connect him to the most iconic MCU character there has ever been?
I can see them not showing his face for the because the characters would like recognize him or whatever.
Yeah, but then why make it RDJ? Just to put butts in seats?
Yeah,
That would piss me off.
that I if it's not gonna play a role, that's definitely what it is. Because there's a million actors out there.
Here's another thing. Well, this ties right into my next point is uh so they again showed a clip at CinemaCon. So this is all just through the grapevine, guys. I didn't see this with my own eyeballs, but Steve Rogers, which again, they're like, let's bring back Steve, let's bring back Steve. Everybody want to see Captain America. And we got that trailer with him and a baby. And everybody's like, what?
Baby.
Baby. So apparently, um, Steve in the clip calls Mjolnir, but it's Infinity War Steve.
Like,
Like he's in the Infinity War outfit, has the Infinity
is it
War
Infinity
get up.
War Mjolnir?
What other Mjolnir would it be?
Well, he has the regular one and he has the
No,
axe.
no, Mjolnir, not Stormbreaker.
Different.
So
I
the hammer.
forget they're different.
Yeah. Okay. We're like, what? Okay. So that checks out with the right after Endgame thing, but okay. There is a fight between Gambit and Shang-Chi. There's a fight between Yelena and Mystique. And during these fights, Dr. Doom, Steve Rogers, all these people were fighting. Steve Rogers, I'm assuming, uses Mjolnir to against uh oh no, sorry. Stormbreaker is being used against Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom stops Stormbreaker very easily. So these are the things I know. And I've heard that this CinemaCon whole experience was under very strict lock and key, no videos, no nothing. You were out of that room if you pulled out your phone. Understandable. They don't want no leaks. Um, but this is just what I've heard. This is what I've heard. Makes
Yeah.
me more confused.
I just am. I have. You know, people are like, oh, superhero fatigue. People don't want superhero movies. Me
Hmm.
personally, I'm sick of the MCU in its entirety.
Okay.
And I'm sick of the stunts and the stupid whatever. I'm just sick of it.
I've
This is
been
why I'm watching new old movies.
yeah. I've been doing my MCU rewatch because I watched all those the Tom Holland Spider-Man and I'm like, you know what, these are actually pretty freaking good. Let me watch the rest of them. And I'm up to Doctor Strange now and you were like, "Oh, I don't know where that is in the," and I was like, "Oh, I'm probably gonna stop after." And well, I watched Infinity War and Endgame for the Spider-Man thing. So I'm probably gonna stop after those. And then because I was like, after those, like, what movies came out in the timeline order after that that are like good? It's only like No Way Home is like the only good one, I think.
I enjoyed watching Multiverse of Madness. Um, However, I don't think it's a great movie. But like I just like I like the effects.
No, yeah,
But
that movie's not
everything
good.
else, that's what I'm saying. It's not a good movie, but I enjoyed watching it. There's no movie that came out that was good and enjoyable.
Let me look at. I'm not including the shows because we had this is not in any particular, but we had um Ant-Man, Quantumania, I think that's what it's called. We had Thor: Love and Thunder. We had Multiverse of Madness. We had No Way Home, and three out of those four, not great, not good stuff. Um,
What year
so
did Endgame come out? 2019?
I think it was 20. Yeah, it had. I think it was the year I graduated, so that had to be 2019, right?
It's been 7 years since the last good Marvel movie.
No, No Way Home was good. What year
Since
that
the
one came out in
last great
2021?
Marvel movie.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. I mean, that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
They gotta.
Yeah.
I think, well, because at that point we were like, the MCU. Oh, Shang-Chi. When did that come out? I don't know.
I did not like Shang-Chi. Everyone loved Shang-Chi. I didn't.
I thought Shang-Chi was good, except the final battle. That was not great. That
Mm,
was before Endgame, though, I think. Um,
I think that was
oh, we
after.
had Guardians 3. That was
That one
good.
was good.
That
That
one was
one
good.
was good.
But other than those, because I remember like there was that long run of like bad MCU, and we're like, is the MCU dead? It's kind of dead. But now they're trying to pick it back up with Brand New Day and Doomsday, and then Secret Wars. We shall see. We shall see. You got any final thoughts?
Um, my final thoughts. Can't wait for Beyond the Spider Verse to come out.
Okay, in 2032.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That's the next Spider-Man movie I'm excited for. The
Okay,
next Marvel movie.
sure. All right. Well, is that with that we shall go.
Bye.
Bye.